What's up, guys? Tim Zabriskie here, back at it again with the brand new vid. It's Sunday, July 2nd, 4th of July weekend. Why do they call it 4th of July weekend? Why don't they just call it Independence Day weekend? Why? Does it sound like the audio is coming through? I think it just stopped. Yeah, it stopped. All right, cool. So, why do they call it 4th of July weekend? I feel like as an American holiday, it's totally American when they say it like that. I mean, it's Independence Day. It's like you don't call it like St. Patrick's Day weekend. It doesn't. You know what I mean? It's St. Patrick's Day. Yeah. That's my little rant that I wanted to say about that. It's been a crazy weekend up here, weather-wise. Torrential downpours, tornadoes. What? Ridiculous. On today's show, we have LA from Sports and Champagne. She's going to talk to us more about the sports and the draft and everything like that. The guys from Quarter Munchers are coming onto the show. They have a Let's Play on Twitch. They're going to tell us more about it. I'm going to ask them a couple questions about what video games they like when they were growing up and things like that. But yeah. Also, we're going to talk about Snapchat and their new feature, and I'm going to show you how crazy it is and whether or not you would want to disable it, because I totally disabled it after I saw it. It kind of scared me, and if you're a parent, you definitely should watch that part. But anyway, we got LA on the phone. LA, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. How was your weekend? How was the weather down in the city?
Thunderstorms the past couple of days, but it's pretty hot now. So.
We had a freaking tornado up in Glens Falls, which is like 25 minutes from me.
That's crazy.
Yeah. For upstate New York?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, what we got? What you got going on?
So this week it's NBA free agency. It's been a crazy week, actually.
Right.
Once free agency officially opened, so everybody's trying to chase the Warriors to build a super team just like them. But the Warriors were able to secure their main player, Steph Curry, and he got one of the largest contracts in NBA history.
How much is that?
$200 million over 5 years.
Holy crap!
And the funny thing is, he made $44 million for his first 4 years, and then now he's going to average $40 million per year.
Wow, that's insane. That's so much money.
Yeah. I mean, NBA free agency is crazy, and that's why like football players get mad, because they essentially, like, their bargaining agreement is a lot more than NFL. Like, the owners don't share as much as, say, like NBA does. So they get jealous with these numbers thrown around. So big moves was Paul George went to Oklahoma City from the Pacers.
Okay.
So that's pretty big, but everybody thinks that he's just going to move on to the Lakers after a year because he wants to play for his hometown. And then a big move from Chicago was Butler moved to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Gotcha.
So pretty much the West just keeps getting stronger and stronger, and the East, it looks weaker and weaker.
Now, is there any hope for the East, though?
I don't know. It's so lopsided how everybody just sees like LeBron in the East, and then everybody's over in the Western Conference. Like all the All-Stars are in the Western Conference.
Interesting.
So, interesting. I mean, no one wants to really go to the Knicks and a few other Eastern teams because they're pretty weak. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's not good. Not good.
What team do you like?
I root for the Knicks, but thank God they got rid of Phil Jackson. He was the president of operations there, so they finally got rid of him. So maybe like they actually be able to build up some young players there. But
now tell me about him. Why is it a good thing that he's gone now?
Well, people say he doesn't relate to young players anymore. And, I mean, he has 11 championships, and he's a great coach, but he just can't relate to young players anymore. Gotcha.
All right, what else you got?
Yeah. Well, tomorrow Wimbledon starts the tennis tournament over in England. The top 4 guys are Nadal, Federer, Djokovic, and Murray, and they've all won it over the last 14 years, one of those guys had won it. So they've been dominating that tournament for a long time.
Cool. Is that?
Yeah.
Now, tell me more about this tournament. Did they win like a prize? Did they get a certain amount of money? Something like that?
Usually, yeah. They win the trophy. It's pretty prestigious, Wimbledon, because they're very traditional over there.
Okay.
And they usually prize money, I think, is like $1 to $2 million.
Wow. That's a lot of money. It's not that NBA money that we were just talking about, but it's definitely a lot of money.
It doesn't compare. It doesn't compare.
And that's just for one tournament, though, right?
One tournament. It goes for 2 weeks, so it's one of the Grand Slam tournaments.
Okay.
So next is the U.S. Open when it comes to Flushing, New York.
Gotcha. Now, how many participants are in that?
It's a large draw. I mean, I'm not quite sure how many people, but everybody has to start making it getting qualified, and they have a couple wild cards that go in there as well. But I mean, it's like there's so many matches played in the first week for the lower rounds that it's scattered throughout the grounds in Wimbledon.
Gotcha. Okay. So tell us more about your blog. I know that you had started to do some updates to it the last time I talked to you during the week.
Yeah, I just updated, but it's sportsenchamps.com.
Okay.
We're starting to get going on the blog. You can leave a comment, and we will post the answer in the blog. And then, as you can see on the home page, you just kind of click and be able to learn the different sports, and it goes through some of the highlights as well, and then just kind of does Twitter and Facebook feeds on there as well.
That's awesome. Great. So,
yeah.
Are you going to any? When does the baseball start?
Baseball is almost halfway.
Halfway? Have you gone to any games?
Yeah, I've gone to a couple Mets games.
Yeah.
Hopefully they get it together in the second half of the season.
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much for calling in today.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you next week. I hope that you have a great week and you stay dry down there if it keeps raining and stuff like that.
You too.
Awesome. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
All right. Bye. So that was LA from sportsenchamps.com. So I'm just going to get my cell phone connected because I can't wait to talk to you about this whole Snapchat thing, because this Snapchat thing is pretty crazy. But before we do that, I do want to give a shout out. We're going to do a free plug this week for Steve over at Curtis Super 40 in Argyle, New York. If you have to get your work done, and I know you're probably more in the Capital District area, but if you're looking for a guy that's going to be a straight shooter with you every time, Steve's the guy. Give him a call, 518-638-6575. He took a look at my car for me over the past week because I had some stuff that was going on with it, and he didn't give me any runaround. He didn't give me anything like that. He was very straight. He was very straight with me, and I was really happy to have him on my side. I honestly don't think I'm ever gonna get my work done by anybody else but Steve. So Steve, thank you so much. Shout out to you. Once again, the phone number is 518-638-6575. So now let's talk about this whole Snapchat thing. So to those of you that use Snapchat, it's great, right? I have it. It's right up there. If you want to follow me, I follow everybody back. But the big thing is that they just incorporated this new Snapchat's map feature, where we're going to go through it in a second. But basically, it's kind of a scary little thing because, well, let me make it sound like it's in a positive light. So basically, wherever your friends are, you can find them on the map, and you know, you can see how close they are, see what they're up to, things like that, which is basically what Snapchat's about, besides what it was probably originally about with, you know, sending pictures back and forth to people you might meet on Tinder. Let's be frank, if we're going to be frank. But yeah, so now they have this new feature. Now I'm going to pull up my phone here. That way you can start to see it. So here we are on my phone. I'm going to open up Snapchat here. Oh, I'm going to open up Snapchat. And it's really my phone. It's really Snapchat. Here I am. Blah, blah, blah. And now what you do is you pinch the screen here and you pull it together. And it opens up this map. Now, I made myself hidden and stuff like that. Now here's one of my friends here. She's right around the corner from me. Hi, Danielle. But what you can do is, if you see this little like green little blob thing right here, you can click that, and someone who's not your friend is there, and they're doing something. So there was a concert last night at SPEC, the Third Eye Blind concert, and now there's a bunch of snaps from all these different people and stuff like that. But it does get kind of weird, because I don't know any of those people that just showed me that. So as I'm going through all these different people, like, who is this person? Like, okay, perfect example. Here we are at a kid's child place. There's clearly kids around and stuff like that. I don't know who that kid is, and the fact that I can pull this kid up on my Snapchat kind of freaks the crap out of me. And it's not like it's just in this area, because if we go all the way out, and you can see where all my friends are, we can go to another country, okay? So let's go down, and here we are in Hong Kong. And now here's a random person's Snapchat from Hong Kong. Now, if you ask me, I don't like that. I really don't. So I disabled that feature from my phone. But if you're a parent or something like that, I would totally like delete Snapchat, and I wouldn't post any more things about your kids on there. That's crazy. Like I just don't see the need to ever want to do that. And that's my rant on that. The next thing I did want to talk to you guys about, and Quarter Muncher guys, if you want to call me up, that way I can have you guys on standby. That'll be great. But the next thing I want to talk about is the next 5 things video that I'm going to do. What it is I am going to put it in the hands of you guys. So what the 5 things video is going to be is the 5 worst places to meet a girl. Now, girls, on the comments down below, tell me the worst place that you think a guy can meet you. I'm going to answer that. I think we're here, right? You guys, I can see you guys. Just I'm going to put you on mute for a second, though.
Yep, cool.
All right. I think I muted you. I'm not sure. I hit the little mute thing.
Alright, cool. I'm going to pause this show.
Okay, so, yeah, so basically, the 5 worst places that you can, that you've ever thought to meet a girl. I have a couple ideas. That's going to be the next video that we put out this week, but I definitely want some feedback on where you think it is. For me, I think the worst is not a place itself, but a scenario where you got, like, if you're around all your girlfriends. I definitely think that's the worst one. But definitely leave your comments down below with your answers, and we will go from there. All right, so let's get the quarter muncher guys up on the air. Can you guys hear me?
Yo, I gotcha.
You got me.
Hello.
Are we doing it? Wait, hold on.
I think it's actually happening.
Hold on. It's not happening yet. Hold on. I gotta, once again. Wait.
Changing stuff on the fly. It's okay. You're doing it live.
We're doing it live. Wait, that's not the one I want.
It's the joke we use at least 2 or 3 times a week. Don't worry.
We're doing it live. Wait.
At this point, it's basically become a catchphrase.
Which one do I want? The window capture I gotta change? Yeah? Yeah, I think this is it.
Window capture, window capture the one, and then should be the Hangouts window.
Ah, here we go. We got it. Yes, we're on. We're totally on
Awesome.
right now. That's fantastic. What's going on, guys?
Not a whole lot.
Hello.
How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. So, first off, I've known Johnny. Johnny is the bald, good-looking gentleman right over there. Mitch is the other gentleman who's actually in Reno, California. Is that correct?
Reno, Nevada.
Reno, Nevada.
Close enough.
Is it, I wonder. I totally messed that up, but I wonder if there actually is a Reno, California. If anybody's
I don't know about
watching the
that.
show from Reno, California, please give us a shout.
We got enough of those people living here now that we might as well be California.
That's right. That's
We
right.
got legal weed now, actually, like just yesterday, officially.
In the whole state.
Yeah, in the whole state, recreational. So.
That's fantastic.
Woo!
So a lot of people are gonna think they're from Reno, California, basically.
Yeah, basically.
That's funny. So
taking over. They're just like creeping in and invading our state.
That's funny. So I know Johnny from my days of professional wrestling, which are pretty fantastic. He definitely did a lot of the video work on that, and he helped me make this show actually working today, which is fantastic. I want to check. I got to check real fast to see if I've dropped any frames, because guess what? No dropped frames. So congratulations to us.
Right.
I think that we've done it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm frozen right now. I think the show looks like it's not moving right now, but whatever. We'll just keep going. We're doing it live.
Attaboy.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the bit rate or whatever it is, but one of my friends had made a comment, Josh, this is your plug right here, that the best part about this show is how everything breaks. So basically it's like a parody of any actual other podcast or anything like that, because nothing seems to want to work for me. But anyway, so hopefully if this is still going through, let's just I don't know. It just seems like it froze.
It's kind of chopping a little bit. I got the video up in the background for me,
but it's not showing me any drop frames. So I don't know. Rosie just came in and was like, just keep going. Anyway, so
just roll with it.
We're just rolling with it. All right, so tell us more about how you guys met and how you came together and decided to start this channel.
All right. Yeah, go ahead, Mitch. You tell the origin story the best.
So there used to be a guy named Pablo who lived in Reno. There's still a guy named Pablo, but he doesn't live in Reno anymore.
Okay.
Who a couple of our other friends knew, and he started a podcast called Hotcast years ago.
Okay.
Which was, sort of like comic books and nerd culture, and it was extremely foul and occasionally funny.
Oh,
Don't look it up.
Well, I think a lot of it's actually faded away into obscurity, but yeah, it was bad. We actually had a number of episodes that we couldn't put out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it racially charged? Is that why we weren't able to do this?
No, but it's a lot of the jokes probably could have come from the subreddit Too Soon.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit of that, and just like all kinds of it was,
I think,
and really just.
I think I compared the entire subculture of furries to the cast of Deliverance.
We nailed just about everyone on that show equally, but anyway, so Chuck, I think, and then he met you through Chuck, and yeah, so we were on that show together for a while.
Okay.
And then Pablo started working at Forbidden Planet in New York, and he got too busy to do the podcast anymore. But we're all still like friends on Facebook and stuff.
Yeah.
So
it's not like you can physically hang out. Now, do you come to New York a lot?
No, I've never actually been to New York.
Oh.
Yeah, that's one of the bits that we touch on the show. So I was like, one day Mitch and I will actually be under the same roof.
Yeah.
But that hasn't happened yet. But
Yeah.
Until then, God bless you, Google, for making the show fucking work.
Yeah, I mean, same thing here.
Shoot.
Same thing here. Like I can get phone calls through Google. Google's an amazing product, but so like I do my show on Facebook Live. Why do you guys decide to use Twitch? I know that twitching is more twitching. Is that right vernacular there? But
we can use that as verbiage, sure.
Yeah. So I know that you guys are using Twitch for everything. Is that just because it's more of a gamer platform, or why is that your preferred platform?
It's for Twitch especially. It's in terms of live video game related broadcasting.
Okay.
It's the biggest platform out there, and a lot of stuff is trying to touch it. Like there's YouTube Gaming Live, but that doesn't necessarily get as much of the traction. Doing something on Facebook Live, like our Facebook page doesn't have a whole lot of traction either.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like Twitch, I started doing stuff on Twitch before I even started thinking about YouTube. Before I started thinking about doing all the social media stuff. I started on Twitch because that was the biggest broadcasting platform. And I mean, when you start broadcasting on something that's like a huge platform like that, there obviously is like you're starting off as the minnow in a pond full of sharks. But,
Right. Yeah, but I'm a little bit more ambitious than
Gives
that.
us a
Though.
lot of visibility.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mitch. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say it gives us a little more visibility just with the video games, especially because like we focus on like fighting games like Street Fighter a lot,
Okay.
which is like the home of Street Fighter, as far as like live streaming goes, and a lot of fighting games, arcade style games. It's an easy platform to work with. It gives us a lot of options for like live production, I guess you could call it, for like getting stuff set up and running, and not having a lot of downtime in between little weird stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty well for us so far.
Right. Definitely. And then so I also came up with 5 questions that I wanted to ask you guys in regards to video games of the past, video games of the futures, and things like that. So we're just going to jump right into that right now. So, number one, what is the first video game that you ever played, and what year, and how old were you?
Mitch, you want to start?
Sure, because I have pretty vivid memories of this. I think I was 5 or 6. And I got a Sega Genesis for Christmas as a kid, which is kind of weird to think about because I don't remember anything else from like being 5 or 6. But the Sega Genesis, I have that clear like Christmas morning memory and freaking out about it. First game I plugged in was Sonic Spinball.
Oh, that was the worst game ever. That literally was
terrible.
probably one of the worst games that I've ever played. The graphics on that were horrible, especially for the Sega. It was just so slow. It didn't even feel like a pinball game. It just was horrible all the way around.
It helps that it kind of helps that it was my first game because I had no basis of comparison. So I plugged it in. I'm like, all right, I get to play this game, and to me, like little 5-year-old kid, it was amazing. And then eventually I got like the other Sonic games, the proper, like the good ones, like Sonic 2, 3, and Knuckles. And those just blew my fucking mind. Because I was like, holy crap. Like I thought this other Sonic game was good with the pinball and like the bad music and like synth sound effects and buzzy noises. And, yeah. So Sonic was like my first video games generally. Like I don't think I played a game other than a Sonic game for like over a year. And eventually, I got like game on Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
And like Real Monsters and a bunch of licensed stuff. But,
I never played that Real Monsters one. I feel like that one was pretty good.
It was, a lot of those platformers from like way back in the day, they're all kind of like, a lot of them are kind of okay. It's just like they don't quite stack up to like your Marios and Sonics
and Toe Jam and Earl, right?
Things. Oh yeah, now we're talking.
That one was sweet. Yeah, I'm a pretty big video game guy. I mean I try not to hide it, but it's harder when you have a girlfriend. She doesn't really want you to play as much. But all right, yeah. So Johnny, same question to you. What was your first video game and how old were you?
I was 5. I just entered first grade. It was Christmas. I forget what year it was. I think it was 1989 or 90 when my parents got me for Christmas the NES control deck. It came with the Zapper and it came with the Mario Duck Hunt cartridge.
Yes.
And I remember I remember just like, please play it. Like I never actually played a video game before that. Some really vague memories of my brother and sister playing with the Intellivision.
Okay.
But I mean that's really like age 3, 4, like really fuzzy memories. But I do remember a lot of when the Nintendo got plugged in playing Super Mario for the first time. I think my brother yelled at me because I didn't realize you had to hold down right to continue moving. I thought you had to just keep tapping it. So yeah. I remember he yelled at me pretty hard for that. I think I turned into a pretty good video gamer after that.
That's pretty good.
Super Mario Duck Hunt.
Super Mario Duck Hunt for you. And I was right around the same time. I mean, I definitely remember us getting that. I think for us it was like we had a Nintendo and then it broke and then somebody, like I think my uncle brought us like another one. But then the first game that I really vividly remember is Super Mario Brothers 3. That was definitely the one that broke it in for me. And what a great game for that to happen with. It definitely was probably the best game that was around and stuff like that. So, okay. So the next question is, what is the favorite video game that you guys have ever played? Mitch, you're up.
Fudge. I'm such not a list top 5, top 10 favorites kind of guy, but
Hey, I gave you a little bit of warning about an hour ago that this was coming, and you both of you guys were like, oh, do it on the fly, do it on the fly.
If I really have to pick one though, it's probably, oh fuck, hold on, I need a quarter.
Oh, we're going to the flip. I love it. I love it.
Heads for Guilty Gear.
I wish I had a quarter. I would have done the flip, but.
So yeah, I think my favorite game, Guilty Gear Xrd, which is a fighting game. A lot of people call it an anime game or an air dasher. It's really fun. It's super deep. There's like gorgeous and crazy to look at. I've been a fan of the company that makes it, Arc System Works, for 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
I played was Guilty Gear XX back in 2004, and I fell in love with that one. And they've kept making these fighting games since then. I've always been a pretty huge fan of them, just because they're super fun. They allow you to do a lot of really creative stuff. The characters are really unique. The design and there's tons of heavy metal references. That's one of the big ones that hooks people.
Oh.
Is everything is a reference. There's a character named Axel, and
I wonder who that's about.
Yeah, and there's a super combo that Kai Kisuke, one of the characters, has called Ride the Lightning, and just tons of stuff like that.
Awesome.
So there's a lot of cool little references, and just the look of the game is awesome and rad. So I think Guilty Gear Xrd, probably my favorite game.
Did I just hear gunshot somewhere? I feel like I randomly just heard. All right, never mind. So back to.
I mean, we're around July 4th, so it's time to play that age-old game of firework or gunshot.
Oh, that is a fun game. I'm gonna go with gunshot on that one, but I don't know if it's coming from Reno, from Rochester, or from right here at Studio Z. All right, so now we Johnny, same question to you. What is your favorite video game? And you can go to the flip if you have to. I like that.
Mine doesn't actually have to flip at all. I can very clearly say that my favorite game in the world is Mega Man.
Oh, would you look at that?
The whole series attached to it. I got that. I got the freaking statues. I got the action figure from the cartoon in the 1990s. Unquestionably the favorite game series. All of the spin-offs, some of them aren't really quite as good as the others. I don't necessarily care for Mega Man Legends or the Battle Network series, but they have their place, despite what I've kind of harped at to a few artists that was I love Mega Man.exe. That's nice. He doesn't count.
Right, and those ones, they're not part of the lineage. Is that correct? Are they a story, the way that it goes from one to one? Is that true?
The only two that really have anything to do with one another is the Mega Man X and the Mega Man regular series. Because Mega Man X is this is what happened 100 years later, and it's all futuristic and super dark and gritty, while the first series of Mega Man games were really cartoony, very lighthearted, comic mischief.
Okay. So,
Mega Man by far.
Sounds good.
I'm actually planning to. I'm trying to figure out. I want to get a Mega Man tattoo somewhere, but I need to know what it is and where it's gonna go.
And if your fiance will let that actually happen, is that what we're going with as well?
It's between that and the Coheed and Cambria logo somewhere on my body.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would definitely go with Mega Man over Coheed and Cambria, but that's just me. Okay, so for me though, I think my favorite video game, and I'm gonna be just like everybody else in the world. It's either gonna be the wrestling games that come out every single year. The best one of those would definitely be WCW Revenge, one of those THQ ones for Nintendo 64. That's definitely
the old wrestling games.
Yeah, that's definitely where where I'm at with those. But then at the same time, I'm a huge Grand Theft Auto guy. I absolutely love it. Now, I just watched a really awesome video that, talking about the newer games that are coming out with Red Dead Redemption 2. And one thing that this guy, his name was Jake or something like that. I can post the video at another point, but I really liked what he was saying with the way that video game has worked, where yes, it's an open world, but the open world stuff is completely different than the actual story. As everyone knows that, like, the story, it's as if they're trying to make a movie, right? So,
Yeah.
So with what he's saying though is like he wishes that the open world was a lot more like Metal Gear 4, I think it is, where it's like they give you an objective and you have to figure out the best way to do it. So if you're trying to kill somebody, you don't have to do it the exact same way that they're telling you to kind of follow the story. He's like, I wish that Grand Theft Auto was more like that, where it's just, yep, you have to kill the guy, figure out how to do it. And this guy was kind of saying he really hopes that the new Red Dead Redemption 2 that comes out, which is definitely the game that I'm really excited for, he wishes that that'll be the way it'll go, but it probably won't.
I mean, I feel like Rockstar is a company that's good at like learning from previous iterations of their own games, as well as like kind of other games in general.
Yeah, definitely.
That route with it. It'd be awesome if they did, because I love Red Dead Redemption as well. But that is one thing I kind of notice, with like the GTA series is it's a little more on rails at times than I'd necessarily like it to be.
Definitely, yeah. I totally get what you're saying, but he, like, and that was a pretty good segue into the next question, actually. If I do toot my own horn, toot toot. The next question is, what game is it that you guys are excited for yourselves? Because for me, it's definitely Red Dead 2, which was supposed to come out in a few months, but typical Rockstar, it's not coming out till spring, before it gets bumped back to September so that it falls in line with Christmas. But right? Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong on saying that. But
normally no. That's sometimes companies do push it back. And honestly, when they push it back like 2 or 3 months, it gives it that chance to polish a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But what games that are coming out are you guys excited for?
Mid-June start.
Not. Well, there is one that I saw at E3 that one looks absolutely. It's so capital V, like capital G video game that I can't help but love it. And that's Final Fantasy 15: Monster of the Deep. A VR like add-on. I don't know if it's a DLC or like a standalone sort of game, but it's a VR-enabled fishing game based on Final Fantasy, and the trailer's just perfect. It's got like butt rock squealing guitars, the whole VR look of like, whoa, I'm looking around, like super homoerotic dialogue lines from the other Final Fantasy characters. It's just hilarious. So just for the sake of like video games being as video gamey as possible, I'm looking forward to that a lot. As far as games like I'm really seriously looking forward to, I know From Software's got to have something in the works. The company that made some Bloodborne, I've been a big fan of those for a while, so I'm hoping that they show something new. Other than that, Yakuza. If I have to name like a game that I'm actually looking forward to in a serious way that I can actually name, Yakuza Kiwami and Yakuza 6, which actually came out in Japan last year before, somewhere around there.
Have you gotten a copy of it? Like, I know it's not out in the States yet, but have you gotten like a or I don't know how that works. Where you get like a copy from Japan or something like that.
I mean, I guess I could import it, but then I wouldn't understand any of the dialogue. So both of those games are getting ported by Sega to come to the U.S. I think Kiwami comes out this year, and then next year. And yeah, I love the Yakuza games. They're so goofy and fun and ridiculous. I just played Yakuza 0 earlier this year, and it was amazing. Like, actually, if you like GTA, it's a little like GTA. There's sort of an open world and like lots of stuff you can go do.
Okay.
Not necessarily in like a mechanical sense. Like, there's not really a lot of like gunplay or driving or anything like that. At least in 0. I think some of the games have some stuff like that, but weird JRPG mixed with an open world, like, you know, kind of crime simulator game, and the humor is just amazing. Like, some of the writing for like the side quests and stuff is ridiculous.
That's
I think
awesome.
Yakuza is what I'm looking forward to right now.
Yeah, it sounds like it's really fun. I definitely will want to check it
yeah.
out. When is that game slated to come out?
I know that Yakuza Kiwami, which is a remake of the first Yakuza game, I should have specified earlier, I want to say it's coming out in October or December of this year, like end of this year.
Awesome.
Q4, I guess.
That sounds good. Awesome. Johnny, you got anything that you're really excited for?
There's the game we talked about last week on our podcast, which you can follow at twitch.tv/quarter_munchers.
Okay.
It's been in development hell for at least 3 or 4 years, called Cuphead. It's a very kind of like Contra, Metal Slug, like run and gun game, but all of the animation is done. It looks kind of like a Steamboat Willie cartoon from Disney. The like early Walt Disney animation footage. That looks super fun. And I myself am I'm actually looking forward a lot to what they're doing with VR, because I do eventually want to pick that setup up, despite the fact that I know that I will probably it will probably nauseate me so hard. The most fun time of my life. Like, I want to play like this. I want to mess with VR, because that's my big thing.
Yeah, I definitely want to get into VR. I definitely think that it would be a really interesting experience, because I've never touched VR at all. Have you guys already touched VR?
I haven't yet. I haven't had a chance. Those headsets, man. I think like a PSVR is like $500 with the Move controllers.
Yeah.
That's the only problem. That's the only barrier with VR right now. Is it's. I mean, I knew it was going to be expensive, but $400 right now is really hard for me to fathom.
Yeah, it's so expensive.
Especially since I spent so much on the Steam sale.
Yeah, I'm hoping maybe Sony has, like a big, or Best Buy or somebody has like a big sale for Black Friday this year or something. Or HTC Vive, but until then, I'm pretty much just kind of waiting for the price to come down.
Which it will in a couple years, I bet. And, alright, so we're going to just jump ahead right to the final question. And it's one that it might take a little bit of brain thought. But, Johnny, you're up first, because you've been throwing Mitch under the bus for every single question that I've given. What is the game?
He's good at talking. That's why I let him talk.
It's yeah, but you got that pretty face. But no, the question is, what game is it that got away from you? The one that you really wanted, but you never got, and then all of a sudden it was gone.
Like all the games that they kind of passed me.
Yeah, like you wanted to play, or you had the opportunity to play. Even a game. We'll even go this far, saying that you played once and you really enjoyed, but then you haven't played it since.
Like a game that was super enjoyed. I mean, along those lines, I'm I used to be a big collector of all the old retro stuff, like NES, SNES, and I fell on some kind of not so great financial times, so I ended up selling a lot of my collection. So There's a lot of stuff I kind of wish I still had, but I mean, there's many options in terms of playing games digitally now that collecting fell by the wayside for me, because there's so many other ways to play these games.
Yeah.
I really miss having the original Mega Man X trilogy on Super NES. I used to have Mega Man X2 and Mega Man X3. I think I told the story in the podcast that my local Wegmans grocery store, which for those that are in upstate New York, you're like, oh, Wegmans!
Oh, no way! Wegmans!
They used to have their own video rental department, and we're getting rid of all their Super NES stuff. And I remember at that time, Mega Man X2 and Mega Man X3 online for like eBay were going for like $60, $70, $80 for just the cartridge alone. For $8.95 each. They were littered mercilessly with those fucking like Wegman stickers and the things that if you peeled off, it would jack up the label, and it was cool to actually have those. I think I actually sold them for $50 in a refrigerator.
That's awesome. That's good. So yours was Mega Man X for Super Nintendo. Is that what you said?
Yeah, the whole trilogy.
That's awesome. And then what about you, Johnny? Or not Johnny, Mitch? What was the video game?
I think for me, the first one that comes to mind for me is Xenosaga, which was a series of 3 PS2. Because I bought the first. I remember getting the first one, back in the day, and playing through it, beating it. I got the second one, and I got stuck somewhere in that game, and just kind of, forgot about it, and eventually quit playing it. I traded in my copies at GameStop or something, for like a brand new, copy of Mario Galaxy on the Wii or whatever, at the time. And now, occasionally I'll think about those games again and look online, and the discs are, ridiculous. They're so expensive. They cost more than $60 now. I think a copy of Episode 3 of Xenosaga is, $100 or something now.
Wow.
And it's just, the game is still, it's in that, it's not really on, Wii, eShop or any kind of emulated platforms because it's PS2, so it's it's not old enough to be an SNES game and really easy to emulate. But I still have the hardware to run it necessarily, or the means to get all copies of all 3 games, which is a couple $100. I remember being good but not great. So I've just kind of always had this hanging thread of I wonder whatever happened in that story. 3 games that I'll never find out. But I think if there's another one for me, it's got to be Power Stone, because I remember playing that at an EB Games in a demo station years and years ago. Sold me on the Dreamcast, but I could never actually find copies of Power Stone once I had got the Dreamcast. So that's another one that I'm man, I need to play that game again.
Yeah.
And just never got a chance to.
That's funny. Yeah, because the Dreamcast, of course, is a system that everybody misses. And for me, my answer was going to be Crazy Taxi, for sure, because that game was amazing. That game was so much fun. It was very repetitive, obviously, because you do the same thing over and over and over again. But that game was sweet. I missed that game a lot. And then the other game, I don't even know what the name of it is, but and if you guys get this, you get bonus points for me. But it was on Nintendo 64. It was a snowboarding game where they were ninjas, and they would do front flips, they would do back flips. It was really simple. You would win stars and stuff like that. I don't even know what the name of it is right now, but that was the one that I played a bunch of times. Me and my brothers, 3 controllers in the N64, right in front of the TV, racing all the time. But yeah, I don't even know what that game was, but that was the one for me that definitely got away.
Would that be Snowboard Kids?
Yes, Snowboard Kids. Oh, you cheater! You cheater! That doesn't count.
There's no remembering anything nowadays, man. That's one of the things that really gets me. Mitch and I have done things on the show where been like, no, it's this, and one of us immediately grabs our smartphone or like it goes right to Google. There's no those arguments don't happen anymore, and part of me is really sad about that, but part of me is like, all right, cool, you can immediately own one of your friends.
Yeah, but so I want to know what you just searched though, in order to find that.
Let's see, my Google search term was Ninja Snowboarding Game N64.
Okay, yeah. I guess that's all you needed. All right, guys, thank you so much once again. Check out Quarter Munchers. Here's the website here. Did I get that website correct? Twitch.tv/quarter_munchers. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. That's where we do our live podcast. Actually, once you're done watching this, tonight at 10 p.m. we will be live doing our live podcast, doing our Road to Evo show where we're going to be talking a lot of fighting games. Probably get some Fightcade action in, some like super old things, and maybe never touch Darkstalkers ever again because that's something that's left me salty. There's actually a video that was supposed to have gotten posted, but it didn't work.
Oh.
Part of me is actually happy about it. Fuck that game. Fighting games tonight. We'll be talking about Evo, which is the for those that don't know, is the basically the World Fighting Game Championships in Las Vegas. That's really grown, but this year hasn't necessarily grown too much. But we're definitely gonna be touching on that tonight. And,
is that the one that
I
think Xavier Woods and Kenny Omega were both at? Something like that. I think they played Street Fighter together or something.
That was at CEO. CEO is the fighting game tournament down in Orlando.
Okay.
That the organizer actually rents a wrestling ring and sets up the finals inside of it, and competitors in the top 8 actually get to make their entrances. Like if you go Google Stone Cold K-Brad.
Okay.
One of the competitors came out and comes up. They threw a Monster Energy drink. He slammed him down like Stone Cold would. And sends it down one of the production assistants like, hey man, you can't do that, and you give him a Stone Cold Stunner.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
I think he stunned Jabali.
Did he really?
The actual guy.
Yeah. That was Jabali. Jabali's the guy at Alex Jabali. He actually runs the event and promotes the event.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the female wrestler named Bailey. That's what I thought that you guys were saying. That's funny. All right.
That'd be pretty funny.
So 10 p.m. tonight.
I think Kenny Omega super kicked him that year too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
That's funny. So once again, here's the website. It's going to be they'll be on tonight, 10 o'clock, going over everything that they just mentioned. And guys, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us a lot, man. That's great.
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely have to do this again, especially when some sweet thing happens. Just let me know. We'll get you on.
Yeah, man. You popped our interview cherry. Congratulations.
Awesome. So I got the job then, right?
Sure.
Awesome. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.
I appreciate it, man. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
See ya.
So that was the Quarter Muncher guys. Once again, I'll highlight their website. Very cool guys. Johnny helped me a lot with getting the web show up and running and looking good. But that's basically all that we got. Let me just look through the run sheet again real fast. Once again, leave me the what you think is the worst place to meet a girl in the comments below. I'm going to use that for my next 5 things video. I do have some ideas, but I want some of your help too. Looks like we didn't drop any frames or anything like that. I can't really tell because the preview on Facebook doesn't seem to be working, but I think Josh hit the nail on the head when he said that your podcast is the one that keeps breaking and stuff like that. But and that's gonna be my new shtick. But to go with that too, my LED lights that I have here, the battery died in them during the interview with them. But thank God I was only in the corner, so you could barely tell. But yeah, you can't even see me now, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But that's it for today. I also think that I will be doing a wrestling podcast before the next pay-per-view. Couple days before. I think there's a pay-per-view on Sunday. I have to double check. They have pay-per-views like every 3-4 days, so they're not even like that real special anymore. But I'll call up Travis again because I had a great conversation with him. Go through the rundown with that again. But besides that, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you went through the whole thing, extra bonus points. Maybe one day I'll get a sponsor that I can give away something for free. But until then, thank you so much for watching this, and have a good day. I'm also going to let this wait a couple minutes. That way I can see if it is still going. Talk to you soon.